This video is going to go over how to build your specialty jig table that we're going to start by putting our inner frame on and build our entire flatbed around it after that. So turn to your, well, one thing I want to address is it's going to be easiest and handiest for you guys if you print out your blueprint that came with the course and actually have it in hand, because there's going to be several times during this video and future videos when I tell you to reference your blueprint for a certain measurement, etc. So if you don't, this is a good time to pause the video, print out your blueprint, because we're going to be referencing it a lot in the future. So like I said, this video is going to go over what you're going to need for your specialty jig table. So to make this more clear, why don't you guys turn to the cut list inner frame diagram in your blueprint, and that's going to make what this is used for a lot more clear. So the purpose of this is, depending on what model of pickup you have, there's two different frame widths. There's narrow frame and wide frame, which is what you see these spacers welded on here for, is to get the proper spacing of your two main piece A's that are shown on the cut list of the inner frame. So turn to the diagram. The two piece A's is what we're going to use these spacers for. So it's going to lay out in your table jig section which spacing you need based on which model of pickup you have. So there's two frame widths. There's the narrow frame and the wide frame. So these either are going to be the inside of these spacers. If you have a narrow frame, they're going to be 37 inches apart. If you're doing a wide frame, they're going to be 42 inches apart. So just look at your blueprint. It's going to tell you which one of those to build. But a couple things I want to go over before you start building this table. So it's going to have a cut list of all the pieces you're going to need and measurements and everything to specify exactly how long, wide, and tall this needs to be. But you need to make sure and get this upper rectangle to be perfectly square. And the way you're going to do that is after you have all your pieces cut out and you have them laid out on your floor or your work table or whatever, before you weld them solid together, your outside corner to outside corner measured both directions should be the same. So I'm measuring theoretically from my outside corner over there to the outside corner here, and that should be the same as measuring from the outside corner up there to the outside corner back here. So if those are the same, you know that your rectangle is square. And then after that, you're going to want to weld your spacers according to what your blueprint says. So let's say you're doing a narrow frame. You're going to weld your two spacers right at the edge, and then you're going to measure from the inside of your spacer to the inside of this spacer. Should be 37 inches if you're doing a narrow frame. If you're doing a wide frame, then it's going to be the 42-inch one out here. My table's set up for both narrow and wide, but you're only going to have two sets of spacers, not three. So yeah, you're going to need one down at this end, one down at this end, corresponding to your blueprint. And then, like I said, the purpose of this is your piece A's from your inner frame diagram are going to be laying on here. Then we're going to build out the inner frame, followed by the outer frame, and then put the headache rack on. So your finished flatbed will be sitting on this jig. Mine's on wheels, so you can roll it around. That's optional. So go ahead and use your blueprint to construct this specialty jig table, and then we'll start building the inner frame.